Hi, I'm Anna, your empath, soul surgeon coach, and this is my story. Hello and welcome. My name is Anna, and I lead people to reconnect with their true selves in order to achieve absolute peace, clarity, and direction in their lives. So there's a belief in psychology and ancient wisdom that when you were born, since your subconscious mind is completely open and accepts everything that happens to you, once you encounter a traumatic or emotionally charged event, you start to separate from who your true, pure, and whole self is to develop a self that protects you from anything else that happens to you. Because that event is so jarring to you and so new, it's only natural to build all of those defenses. And that leads to a false type of person that goes out and picks things in their lives that are not of the highest good for them. And that's why I believe all of the personal problems that you might have exist, and all of the problems in the world that can be solved either stem from people being apart from their true selves, or it's a ongoing problem that requires acceptance and a higher level of consciousness to rise above it. And Einstein always said that problems are never solved from the same level of consciousness that created them. So let's get into my story. I found that this ancient theory is true for me. I started off 20 years ago in investment banking. It was a very competitive, high-profile job where I worked on corporate deals. I wanted to be on the front of the Wall Street Journal. I wanted to have very intellectually stimulating, day-to-day, be involved with the markets, just being in on everything, learning so much, and being with fast-paced, really intelligent-minded people. So I got into investment banking, and then about a few years later, working in 100-hour work weeks, I thought, this is really not something that I want to do long-term. I was dying to escape. So I escaped to business school. I decided to take 2 years there to figure out what to do with my life. Well, I didn't have a coach or a mentor or anyone to tell me, to show me what to do. So in effect, I came out of business school going back into banking. I thought, okay, well, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go back into banking. And this time I went into international trade finance. I took my international skills to do more trade deals globally. So from there, I had the same feeling of, I don't want to go to work anymore. I just don't. This is not for me. And in effect, my boss came up to me and said, look, you're never going to amount to anything. This is just not the right job for you. He was very straightforward, and it was a very toxic environment. And I thought, okay, something has to give, I got to get out of here. What do I do? And this is when I learned through all of my training. I started going to personal development seminars. I started being trained by the top coaches in the world and the top psychologists in the world to understand the psyche, understand spiritual concepts, and NLP. I started getting trained. I'm actually certified neurolinguistic programmer, practitioner, and I just started getting more and more information, training, going to expensive seminars. And then I learned that when you pick a job that's not right for you, not only are you going to feel bad, everyone else in your vicinity that you interact with is going to feel bad as well. Because you, in new age terms, you're vibrating from a frequency that is not in line with your true self. Or you're extending energy out that is not in line with your true self. And it's going to be disruptive instead of pure and productive. And that's why you're going to be unhappy. And it took me a long while to understand that. And when I finally did find my new job, my dream job, and this is not where it stops, you're going to encounter things in life that complicates it as well. In your dream job, you might be required to work overtime. You might be underpaid sometimes. You might come across people that are just terrible, terrible people. That's life. So even if you find your true job and your dream career, you're also going to encounter some natural hiccups and mountains and hurdles that you need to go through. And so that's why reconnecting with your true self is so important, because when you reconnect with yourself, you're able to figure out the true reason why these things are happening and how to deal with it. You're able to connect with a person on a personal level and understand them as well, because you understand yourself a little bit better. You're connected with yourself, and that your connection to yourself is the purest wisdom. You know, what I learned, the best thing I learned in all of my training was that once you're connected to yourself, you find your true talents. And talent, the word talent comes from the Latin word talentum, which means a sum of money. And the idea is that when you use your true talents, you become successful. And that doesn't always mean making a lot of money. You know, success for you could mean autonomy, freedom, free time, creative aspects of it. Being able to dress and present yourself in the way that you want. All of that comes from following your true talents. And when you reconnect with yourself and your soul, you're able to get there. And imagine if everyone reconnected with themselves in the world. Everyone will be able to understand the other so much better. There wouldn't be nearly as much division. If you get to this place where you're very clear, concise, and there are levels of human development, which I will show you in our teachings together, in our sessions together. And once you get to that integrated phase, and this is why what I do is called integral life coaching. Once you get to that integrated phase, you're able to connect to yourself as well. You're able to understand what's happening in the world and why it's happening. And you're able to accept and move forward from that, because every stage has a healthy and an unhealthy representation. And when you're in that healthy representation and moving up and learning and growing, that's when you become more and more and more of a beneficial presence and have your life be more and more meaningful to you. So I'd like to guide you on how to do that. Click on the link below to book a session with me, and let's dive into everything together.